Hi, and thank you. Welcome to Teachers Ignite. My name is Dr. Reyna, and I'm going to be your host for Ignite Teachers Toolbox today, engaging children today for better minds tomorrow. First of all, I want to thank you for coming and joining me. If you can, please put your name in the chat box and what grade do you teach and what district are you or school and district are you coming from so that I get to know a little bit about you. Okay, so we're going to start with a little exercise, and it's something that we do with your children, but we're just going to do a simple exercise between us to get us in a good state. Okay, you don't have to stand up if you don't want to, but if you want, you can. So we're gonna do some breathing exercises. We're gonna put our hands up, we're gonna put them down, and we're gonna breathe in when we put them up and out when we're putting out. As we think of something that makes us happy, something that we are grateful for, or something that brings a smile to our face, okay? So we're just gonna do that for 10 and count in your head as you think of something that makes you happy and something that you're grateful for, something that brings a smile to your face. Okay, here we go. Okay, so thank you. So see, that gives us a little bit of exercise, a little bit of oxygen into our brains and for us to get started. Okay, I am so thankful that you are here. Again, my name is Dr. Reyna, and I am extremely thankful that you are here. I hope to bring value to your classroom. I hope to help you ignite all the knowledge and passion that you have inside you. Okay, so as we know, educators are trained on how to get the keys to have a successful student, but that's not something that we're going to talk about this time. Instead, we're going to talk about enhancing your message and improving understanding with a proper use of visual aids. We're also going to be talking about making every virtual classroom interactive, compelling, and productive. Okay, I know that you as a teacher are trained extremely well in classroom engagement and how to have classroom management and how to have a climate of high student achievement. That's your thing. That's what you do best than anything in the world. And I am not here because I am an expert teacher. As a matter of fact, I am not a teacher, but I am passionate about what you do, and that's why I am here. First of all, we know what student engagement is. We know that student engagement in education refers to the degree of attention, curiosity, interest, optimism, and passion that students show when they are learning or being taught by you, the teacher. Okay, I have a question for you, and I would like to know why you got into education. And if you can put it in the chat box, I would really appreciate it. So that way I can see why you got into education. I'm sure that it wasn't because of the money. I'm sure it wasn't because of the hours. So I wanna know, when you decided that you wanted to be a teacher, what was that spark? What was that moment when you said, you know what, I want to be a teacher because why? I want to know your why. Okay. And as you type that, we're going to continue. So let's look at the 5 levels of engagement. As you all know, I'm sure you all do, we have 5 levels of engagement in a classroom. We have authentic, ritualism, ritual compliance, compliance, and rebellion. At this time, we are in rebellion mode. We have students that are not in our classroom. We do not know if they're listening to us. We do not know if they're seeing what, or even like getting what we're saying. And some of our students are even blocking the camera, so we are not even seeing our students. Okay. So this is an example of 3 categories of classrooms. A classroom that is engaged is someone that is participating, is raising up with their, things, and We have a compliant classroom that it's more or less participating, and then we have the off-track classroom, which is when our students are not engaged at all. And that's what we have been seeing the majority of the time since we started the virtual learning. Okay, so how do we move students towards authentic engagement? And how do we increase student engagement? That is the question. So here we have our model student. We have a student who is dedicated, he wants to learn. It has a computer, it has a desk, it has everything. Its parents have set everything up for our model student. And why a model student, you say? Because that's our low-hanging fruit. If we are not engaging our model student, how do we expect to engage our trouble students, our special ed students, our not English-speaking students? So how are we going to engage those students if we cannot even engage our model student? And that's what we see. We see here you are. Here's the teacher, and is pouring her heart into teaching. It has made the lessons plans, it has everything, and then you still see over there on the screen, the students are confused. They're like, I don't know what's going on. So how is the teacher supposed to reach out through a screen of 30 kids, or how many students you have, and help that individual student when you have to continue and you only have a screen? This is all you have. You just have, go like this. You have, that's your square. That's all the space you have. You are used to having a room. You're used to having a classroom. You turn around and you have a whole classroom for yourself. That's your kingdom. Now you have been moved to a box this big, okay? So this is what we want to see. This is a picture of you. And I'm going to ask at the end of this session if we can all take a picture again so we can show our other class and show that you guys were the most participative ones. But this group of teachers were super excited, and we can see all their hands. Everybody is participating. Everybody is like super happy that we were doing this class and we are igniting our passion and our imagination. Okay, and I see that you are typing why you got into teaching. I see the developer of the human spirit. I see I wanted to make a difference in kids' lives. You know, I love teaching. So all different things. So how does a teacher prepare his or her classroom for learning, for e-learning, right? That is the question that everybody's asking these days. So I'm here to tell you that communication has evolved. We are no longer communicating how we were communicating in the past. When you had your classroom, you had the students, you can tap into them, you can walk by where your students are hanging, you can raise your voice, you can say, hey, 1, 2, 3, and they listen to you. Now that's not possible anymore. Communication has evolved to now you are not only have to talk to your student so that your student can hear you, they have to see you, and you have to have interaction, movement with them in order for you to gain their attention, in order for you to communicate with them. Okay, so the Ignite toolbox consists of 3 different tools. One is breathing. This is what everybody breathes, you know? So that's one, breathing. Number 2, it's moving, okay? And number 3, it's visual aids. So we're gonna start with the most simple one, which is breathing. Everybody breathes, but not everybody knows how to breathe. And that's what we are going to teach. And we're gonna have this tool that we're gonna teach you, and that hopefully when you implement it with your class, you're going to see a difference. And we're gonna see why, okay? So breathing exercises, and I'm gonna give you an example of what this breathing exercise is. And it's not the exercise that we did in the beginning. I did that intentionally different, so that way it would be separate. And there's also a video following this training that does step-by-step instruction on the breathing. But we're gonna do a simple breathing so that you know. So we will start with a little bit of music. Okay, and the idea is that you teach your children to touch their fingers, see, like that. And when they go into the hand, they breathe in. And when they go out, they breathe out through their mouth. Okay, so we're gonna try it. In, out, in, out. That's something that you easily can teach as they breathe. And it's gonna be a little bit of time in the beginning so that they learn to breathe in, out. As they're breathing, you are asking them to think of something that makes them happy. And something that makes me happy is seeing all of you here with me. That truly makes me happy. And so they can breathe and think at the same time without that much effort, right? Who agrees? Say yes, 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 yes. Good. Everybody agrees that we can all breathe and think at the same time. So as your students are breathing and thinking of something that makes them happy, you're going to start telling them what's the outcome for the day. So you already have that. You have what's the lesson, what is the objective, and everything that you are going to teach. You already have everything that you're going to teach for the whole year, but you're not going to give them everything for the whole year. You're just going to give them what's the objective for today, because you know what you want to teach today, right? So as they are breathing and thinking of something that makes them happy, you are going to introduce the outcome for today. Today, we are going to teach about addition, and by the end of the day, everybody is going to be able to add and subtract with no problem. Okay, and that is the end of a breathing exercise. It can be from 1 minute to 5 minutes, for as long as you need to prime your students. That's what it's called, priming. And so why you say breathing? Because when you stack up the breathing, you fill up the lungs. And as you fill up the lungs, it goes to the brain. And so then that's what we want. We want the oxygen to go to their brain. And then the finger, because we want the kinesthetic movement to go with the brain, right? So that's what we do, our breathing exercises with the kids. Why breathing, you say, right? There's several studies that show what are the benefits of deep breathing and the impact that oxygen has in the brain. And so we're only going to focus on the last finding right here, where it says breathing boosts oxygen levels in the brain. The higher the oxygen level in the brain, the better you can focus and stay alert. And what do we want from our kids? We want our kids to stay focused, and we want them to stay alert. And so that's why we do the exercise, because we want to make sure that oxygen goes to their brain, okay? So in addition, why we implement the fingers is because we want them to count, and because the kinesthetic movement of the fingers encourages kinesthetic memory. And it also encourages interaction, communication, and it's been proven, according to early childhood IE, that movement supports literacy. And so, and it gives them something to do, so they stay focused and they do the exercise, right? They're watching all the other students, and so they're seeing, hey, she's doing it, he's doing it, so I want to do it too. I want to show my fingers. So it gives them something to do while they do that exercise, and they're thinking of something that makes them happy as you prepare them for what's the outcome for the day. So that's that. That's one of the tools, and it's a 2-in-1, because children need movement to develop balance, right? Another thing that part of what the Facebook group does is that it gives us all kinds of ideas. And this is just one of the ideas that one of the teachers shared in our Facebook group, saying, oh, we can use the hand signals in our Zoom rooms, because it's insane to have everybody unmuted and to have everybody be talking and teacher. So if you unmute all of your students and you have hand signals in the back, you are easily you can easily see what the student is if it's saying. So if you're saying, okay, oh, hi, so and so needs help. Oh, they're saying work. We're gonna work. And so then, can you please show me? And so then that way you are not inundated with unmuting everybody and hearing everybody talk at the same time, unless you're giving that student the opportunity to speak. You can easily communicate with them. And it's some sort of hand signal, but it's an oriented hand signal. So then you can take this when you go to the classroom, you can still use it and have them be communicate with you that way. So then that way you maintain the noise control down. Okay, so that's just one of the examples of what teachers are sharing in our Facebook group. And if you have any other ideas, when you join the Facebook group, feel free to share. Feel free to go through all the different posts and see what works, what doesn't work. If you try it out and is working or not working, give feedback, because that's what the community is all about. It's about, part of the reason why we have this platform is that we all communicate and we all share what's working for one might be working for another. We don't want to be frustrated. We don't want to see you frustrated all by yourself. We want to make sure that all of our teachers have the tools on hand. And so then children and movement, they need movement to develop balance, and that's why we have also implemented and came up with interactive music. And what is that, you say? Okay, so use music to control the mood of the group, of the room. You know, our students are in their homes, and their homes might not be the optimal educational setting. They might have multiple siblings. They might not be paying attention. They might have a TV going on over there. They might have you competing with a video game or with the phone. And so you want to make sure that you bring their attention back, right? So our suggestion is that you implement, have movement songs every hour or every so many often, set alarms on your phone so that set random alarms, not like every hour or like 12 o'clock, but like 11:40, like 9:35, 12:15. So at different times, so that it interrupts your session, your class, but with a purpose. And so the reason why we say interrupt the purpose is because when you set up that alarm, the alarm is going to sound and they're going to raise their hands. Okay, so then when the other sound sounds, they're going to touch their toes. And so you want to see them touch their toes. So you want to see them touch their toes, or you want to see them run in place. So, okay, run in place. And I want to see everybody run in place. I want to see everybody clap. I want to see everybody turn to the side. Turn, turn, turn. So each of the sounds is going to trigger a movement, and it only has to be like for about a minute, but that's sufficient time for you to snap them out of their daydreaming mode and get their attention back on you. All eyes on you. Okay, so that's one of the things. So we're gonna, okay. You have catchy music. And this is the result that you want to see. You want to see your students moving. You want to see your students activated, right? And you see one student over there has his 3 siblings working with them. Another one has his parents sitting down like over there watching something. But it doesn't matter. Your student is engaged. Your student is right there with you. And that's what you want. You want your student to be active, to be participating. What if your student was daydreaming? What if your student was on their phone? What if their student had the camera off? When they hear the music, they want to be seen. They want to show their moves, believe me. So this is one of the ideas of why we have these movements, and you are free to put in whatever music you want to put in there. You can put whatever music you think the kids like. You can put in a clip from, you know, anything, and whatever music you want to put in your phone, you can put it in. You know your kids, you know your grade better than anybody else. Oh, please remember to put in the chat box your grade so that way we can send you information by grade. As we receive different tips and different ideas from other teachers, we will be making sure that we send that information to the appropriate grades. Okay, so that's the result that we want to see. And that's not something new. You know this. In the classroom, you have asked for standard desk, so kids are up. You're asking them to move. You require students to move when responding a question. You require students to show their answers on a whiteboard so that they can raise their hands. You ask them to get up and show their finished work. So go put it over here. So that way they're moving. That's the reason why you say, hey, when you finish with your test, come and put it over here. Not because you don't want to get up and pick it up, but because you want your student to get up. And that's something that you do on a regular basis in your regular classroom. But being that we are in a virtual classroom and we don't have the ability to tell our students, hey, when you're done with your work, make sure you bring it over here so you can move and you can refocus. That's why we are implementing the interrupt pattern with the music. You bring the music, you ask them to do a movement, and that brings them back. And yeah, it's going to take you about 1 minute. Then you can regroup and continue with your teaching. See, you get their attention. It's like an attention grabber. You're like, okay, here you are. Come back, come back. And so then you have this, they don't know when this alarm is going to sound. So that's the good thing about it. And it's like, okay, oh, here it comes. And so then they come back to you. Okay, so provide frequent feedback. That's one of the things that when you see your student moving, say, yes, Emma, I'm so happy to see you moving. Great moves, Francisco. And so you see all the difference. There's nothing that a student likes more than feedback from their teacher. They love the feedback and they will do anything for you. They will show up all their moves. Okay, so that's something that is very important. Another thing that we are learning as we are growing into this virtual learning is that before we just ask a question and the student answers, right? Now, with the long distance learning, we have discovered that communication has evolved. Now we have to ask the question, show the written question, ask the question again, and wait for an answer. So then we have to use our eyes and our ears together to communicate. And that's one of the things that we are encouraging our students to do. And how do we do that? We do that to the use of visual aids. We also understand that we cannot give our students visual aids. It would be easy if we can give them all a emoji stick, a yes or no, something, right? That's, some districts can, some other districts cannot. Some parents are not gonna come and pick up the stuff. Some parents are just like, you know, not gonna be supportive of their students. But we still want our students to participate, regardless of where they're at in their lives. So one of the ideas here is that you ask your students, and I'm gonna ask you to take 1 minute and go find something red and something green, okay, whichever way it goes. So go find something red and something green, and let's bring it back, okay? I'm gonna give you 1 minute, and let's go find that. Okay, I'm back. Are you back? Okay, perfect. I hope everybody's coming back. Don't be distracted. Don't go get lunch, anything. Just like bring something red, bring something green. Unless it's an apple. If it's an apple, you can bring a red apple and a green apple. So I found a red. This is my sticky note organizer, and it's red. And I found my phone case, who is green, right? So you can send emojis to your students, right? You can send emojis, you can send printouts, because they might not have a printer to print, but they can find whatever. So show me in your screen what you found, that it's red and green. Yay! I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. I'm seeing pants, I'm seeing a scarf, I'm seeing a shirt, I'm seeing a lipstick. Okay, so we have plenty of stuff. And as I show you right here, there is plenty of things that they can find. So if you ask your student, is this okay? We're gonna have a test, true or false. If it's true, it's green, and if it's false, it's red. At the same time, you can say green, put the green in your right hand, put the red in your left hand, and true, false, yes, no, right? So it's as easy as finding two things. And so then that way, when you're asking the question, you say, is this true or false? They say true, and you see all the greens in your screens. And when you see the one red, you go like, why do you think it's false? You know, and so then you reply and you are getting immediate feedback without getting all this noise if you need to unmute everybody, right? So this is going to be like more visual for you because it's like, and it's a big item, right? Because you're gonna find like something red, something green, and they will find something. And they will be looking forward for the class to show what they found, that it's the color red and the color green, the following. They want to show their colors, okay? So that's one of the things that you can use, and you can say, like, let's go find something. And so that way you will minimize the use of, you can always use your thumbs up and thumbs down, but then you have to see how everybody's thumb is. And you can easily use that as well. But when you have a large number of people and you want to see color, it's a lot easier when you have your 30 people in one screen to see, okay, most everybody got it. And so then you see if your response was a response from everyone, right? And so then the other thing that we are implementing, and we thought one of our teachers used in the higher classrooms, is they use the Zoom backgrounds to make groups. And this was to promote the social emotional component of going to school. When you go to school and you want to see your friends, you talk to your friends, how was your day, this, that, all those information. So when you form your groups and it's the same group of people, they associate their colors, and then they go like, oh, you are in my group, you are in my group. And then you assign them numbers. And so that way your social emotional component is being implemented. And there's many other ways. You can also have spirit days where they wear, each group wears a different color, if they have the colors, but utilizing a Zoom background is non-expensive. If they don't have it, they don't need to show it. It's all in there, and it's all included in what you already have. Like I said, this is Ignite. You already have the tools. We're just like simply highlighting it and bringing it up. So if you're using something similar to this to promote the social emotional component of education, please share in the chat box so we can share with everybody else. Okay, so this is one example of how this teacher set her groups. And so then she has the students 7, 17, 9, 14, and 10 belong to the blue. So then when she makes her break rooms, they go together. And so that way they get to know each other. So when they go back to the classroom, they will have those relationships. It's not like they're going to be like completely, like it's like the first day of school where they don't know anybody, right? So they're going to be talking to each other and communicating with each other. Okay. So here's make your own visual aids, and that's if you have the capability to send them to your students. Like you can make your visual aids and send it to them when you send paperwork or when you send something. That's a possibility, but if not, always like have them find something in their home. And so this is just the beginning. And this is just the beginning. And the reason why we are here is because we want to support you in any way we can. And Ignite developed this platform of teachers so that we can ignite your imagination and share with others what's working in this uncertain times. Please share your success so others can benefit from your success, as long as your failures. If something has not worked out for you that you try, share it. Because another teacher might be thinking, hey, I'm going to try this. But if she reads that you already tried it and it didn't work, another teacher might say, oh, I did try it, but I implemented this little different thing. We are here to work together. And please feel free to reach out. Join the Facebook community. We have a Facebook group called Teachers Ignite, where we share and we receive informal support. This is not part of your district. This is not part of your school. So you can collaborate with teachers all across the United States, and we can share our successes and our failures. And by the end of this uncertain times, we will be able to say we had the best experience. Our students will say virtual learning was so much fun. I learned so much. And you might even have tools that you take into the classroom, and this community will remain and stay with you forever. And hopefully you will develop friendships and groups that you work with. If you are a kindergarten teacher and you plan to be a kindergarten teacher for your whole career, you will have this group with you to support you in all your career. So in addition to that, we have a blog where we network events in real life, and blogging provides similar types of network. You meet new people, you talk to them, and sometimes you even work with them. A lot of times you work with the teachers, but you don't talk to them because you have no time, right? You go to work, then you prepare, then you go to lunch, and then you have to do yard service and take the kids to the bus, and then by the end of the day, you didn't talk to your colleague at all. But by being part of the blog, you might be receiving feedback from your neighbor that you didn't know that was there. Okay, so share your voice. My purpose is to have this platform for you so that you can share your voice. Use my blog to share your opinions, and your voice, it's the voice that our people want to hear. Our parents wants to hear from the teachers. Our parents do not care to listen from anybody else in the school district, believe me. They care what the teacher says. They know the teacher. They trust the teacher. And when you say something, they listen. Okay? They can go to the district office, they can go to the principal, and the principal can say something, but whatever the teacher says is true. Okay, for them. So your voice is what the people want to hear. So share your voice. I encourage you to share your voice, please. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach at drreyna.com or email me or call me, and I am here to serve you. I also do individual sessions. If you want an individual session, and if you want a live session at your school, we can also go to your school and provide with a session where we can help you ignite your passion. Okay, so before we end, I want you to please, I asked you earlier to type down why you got into teaching. So I am going to ask you if you can please close your eyes just for a second. We're not going to stay with our eyes closed forever. So close your eyes and think of that moment when you made the decision to be a teacher. Think of that moment in time and you were certain why you wanted to be a teacher. Bring yourself to that moment, okay? And see yourself successful. How did you see yourself making a difference in those children? Being successful, being that teacher's inspiration, those parents' support, being a pillar in the community. So just think of those times and remember why you got into education, and share your passion, share your knowledge with all of us. I'm Dr. Reyna. I'm here to help you ignite your passion. Thank you.